You're that merchant.
Yes, I am.
Oh yeah, I heard you had a nice enchanted dagger.
Yes.
Alright, I'd like to buy it. How much?
It's not for sale.
Come on.
I'm sorry, it's expensive. I can't sell it to you.
Well, how much? What's your price?
100 gold pieces.
100?
1,000 gold pieces. You took too long.
Alright, 500.
I already have buyers waiting.
500. Come on, that's more than
500. Go once.
Deal, 500. Alright.
Hey. You're fired after this.
Okay, so, what we here? Hold it here. 1, 2, 121, 124. How much was it? 500?
500!
Yeah, okay. I mean, we
Oh, you get a discount. Just leave it alone.
Discount. So
Leave it alone.
that's fine. Oh, okay, great, cool, thanks.
Shadowverse.
Greetings, I'm Shad, and here on Shadowversity we have explored many things in regards to the fantasy adventurer, like how many weapons they can carry, what would be the best weapons depending on what type of adventurer they are, class kind of, you know, in the video where I talk about that, I'm not necessarily on board with classes, but there are certainly roles that adventurers fall into. Yet out of all the things we've explored, there is one thing above all other things that nearly every adventurer would want to carry a certain amount of, and that's money, gold. And it raises an interesting question. How much gold could an adventurer actually carry? Because when you play Dungeons & Dragons and video games and stuff, the amount of money that you end up having on your person can get to ridiculous levels. I've started replaying Skyrim recently, and on average my character has at least 10,000 gold on me. And so, could I carry that much? We don't know. Well, we are going to find out because this is another episode of Functional Fandom where we're going to test things. We have gold right here. Ooh, that feels good. I kind of get why Scrooge McDuck likes this. It's like, oh. Now, if you're wondering, this is actually real money. It is $1,000. I'm not kidding. This is $1,000 right here of Australian $1 coins. The thing is, these aren't real gold, okay? Australian, $1 coins, I don't know, there's copper, nickel, another kind of a combination. But we measured the volume of these coins compared to the weight of gold and found out that these are very close to it's not exact, but very close to half the weight of what a gold coin of the same size would weigh. And so what we're going to do here, we're going to do a couple of different tests. One, I think the main one we're going to go by is weight. Volume is another interesting one, because if we come over here, I've got extra pouches, but you might have also noticed I'm wearing my full adventuring loadout, and I put on extra pouches. And so I got all these pouches here to load myself up with money, lots of money, right? To see how much I can carry and if these pouches are even sufficient. But this is the thing. Pouches, obviously, be very useful for adventurers. And they were useful in the medieval period. We have artwork showing medieval style pouches. I'm actually not wearing authentic medieval pouches, but I think these, are very plausible because they're full leather and they have the same, very similar, closing, attachments that we see in some medieval artwork. So we know they wore pouches, and it's kind of odd because I don't think they had a lot of in-made pockets for their normal clothes, but they did wear pouches. And so I've got that, but the thing is, pouches are useful to hold other things, and you would expect that I would have other adventuring kind of stuff in these pouches. And so it would kind of make sense that I might dedicate 1, 2 at the most, for gold, and then the other one's for useful adventuring gear, whatever it might be. It could be some string, rations, food. In actual fact, food might be I would almost want to dedicate 2 big pouches for my rations and food, 1 for maybe gold, and other useful adventuring gear.
Give us your money.
Money, I'm an adventurer. I don't take a lot of money with me.
Jump.
What do you mean jump?
Jump.
My legs are a bit sore. I can't.
Jump or we'll cut your legs off. He's loaded. Come on, boys.
They took everything! My gold, even my brigandine. At least they didn't take my gambeson. Gosh.
Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only.
Are you the guys that just robbed me?
Well, no, but if we were, we would feel really sorry about it, and we thought you'd at least deserve some sort of meal. We're keeping money, though.
Well, at least I get to eat something. As you've probably been able to tell, this video is sponsored by HelloFresh, and I like to try and do something fun with each HelloFresh sponsorship. And so, in this one, we're gonna cook the meal. Well, I'm not gonna cook it. I'm gonna get Oz and Nathan to cook it for me under my instructions. And so, this one is creamy mushroom chicken. And they better do it right, because they get one thing wrong, I'm gonna get Gordon Ramsay on their behinds. I'm not kidding. I've been a HelloFresh customer for years, and I can say honestly and genuinely that it is definitely worthwhile. So why not give it a try yourself? Go to HelloFresh.com and use my code SHADOVERSITY14 to get 14 free meals, including free shipping. Oh no! What is this? You dropped the potato into the fire? You... Now get out of here and do it properly! These meals are chef curated and delicious, and during the month of August there are barbecue bundles, including an assortment of tasty grillable proteins, surf and turf options, classic mix and match sides, and summery desserts. HelloFresh offers so many recipes to choose from each week, and they help you break out of the recipe rut that you fall into, and I definitely found that out for myself. When my family bought ingredients for ourselves from the grocery store, we always defaulted to the same unhealthy but, tasty and acceptable kind of recipes that we were just used to. HelloFresh opened up our options with far more nutritious and tasty meals. What is this? How bloody thick do you want your carrots?
In his defense, I'm using a butter knife.
Look how chunky these things are. Gordon Ramsay would not be impressed. Do it again. It also cuts out the stressful meal planning and prepping, so you can actually enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in just about 30 minutes, or even 20 minutes with their quick and easy options. All right, it's a good start there, Oz. I don't want to see them burnt, they need to be flipped over. I don't want them raw, Oz. And because the ingredients are pre-proportioned, there's less prep time for you and less wasted food. So to try out this delicious, nutritious, diverse food options, go to HelloFresh.com and use my promo code SHADOVERSITY14 to get 14 free meals, including free shipping. Flatten the chickens out, flatten the chickens out. What are you doing? You're gonna cook one side, you're gonna cook unevenly. If you don't flatten them out, that's not flat, that's mangled, come on! The food is genuinely delicious. Just have a look how good it is. Oh, dig in now, guys. Let's have a... So, I'm looking forward to trying the sauce. Oh, whoa. No. It's funny when we get to this part in the video, right? Because it feels like we're putting it on, but we're legitimately not. This is actually genuinely delicious. All right, guys. You did good. You did good. Try it out, just like me, you will not regret it. Or just like Sir Nathan here, who has recently tried it out with his wife, and they've fallen in love with it. So a big thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to finding out how many gold coins an adventurer could likely or logically carry. So, to cover the analysis of what we're going to be looking at here, because weight is going to be an interesting one, I have extra rocks here to increase the weight. And so what we can do, we can measure however many coins we put into, one of these pouches. We then simply need to double the weight to then get the approximate weight of what it would be if these were real gold coins. And we've got scales here to measure it. And I think, well, this is the interesting thing. Let's just weigh, okay, how much these gold coins would weigh. All of this, okay, if we weigh it, it gets an error on the scales. But
That happens to me.
Come here, Oz. So, Oz, how much do you reckon this weighs? Careful. 10 kilos, maybe?
No, that's about 6 or 7, maybe 8.
It's got some weight to it, right? The thing is, if this was gold, it would be twice as much, twice as heavy. And we already hit an error on the scales. So these are kitchen scales, but they're very fine, but they max out. Let's just kind of figure out when these scales max out.
About 5.
Yeah.
About 5. Yeah, definitely. So it maxes out 5 kilos. So it's definitely more than 5, we know that. Probably 8, around there. But that means if it was real gold, it would be twice as heavy. And this already has some significant weight to it. Now, if I was walking around, let's figure out how many pouches, just regular coin pouches, we can fill up with the gold coins to see how many pouches it would be, okay? And so, so Ben, if you could come and help us out with this one, we'll start filling up. So Oz. Now, we're not gonna fill these to the top, we're gonna fill them to the convenient level, okay? Where we can pull the drawstring tight. And so, just out of interest with these money pouches, which I think reflects about an average size money pouch, okay? Just to weigh this by itself is 1.3 kilos.
Hey, that's one where we can actually...
If this was actually gold, this would be 2.6 kilos.
We can actually figure out how much this all weighs by measuring each one individually.
Yeah, we could. So, look at this. Just, if this was real gold, 2.6 kilos. That's a hefty weight right there, just hanging. My goodness. All right, so we have filled up 7 pouches, and then, like, there's still enough slag. It's just these are the convenient level you would have the the pouches at, and 7 pouches, and that is 1,000 gold coins. All right, think about that. How much money does your adventurer carry on average? Now, this very much depends on the fantasy setting. Okay. I know for Dungeons & Dragons, most things usually are always equated with gold coins. And yeah, they got silver and copper, but when you get to the sea, like if you want to buy an enchanted weapon, it's always whatever denomination of gold coins, like 200 gold coins, a few thousand gold coins. If you're buying something really large, like castle, siege equipment, or even a stronghold or something, it gets pretty high. It's always in gold. And this is the same with like Skyrim. I know some other fantasy settings actually make gold coins far more valuable, like World of Warcraft. And I think that's a much smarter way to do it, because if everything was just like on the gold coin thing, you would end up carrying heaps. But if one gold coin was essentially worth, say, $100, we're just making a rough comparison to modern day currency, well, you would actually be able to carry a lot more. And this is close to how it worked historically. If you want an awesome video on what medieval currency was for, say, England, go check out Lindy Bage's video on coins for medieval England. And the main denomination really was the penny. And what I find interesting is like a lot of fantasy settings kind of equate a 1 gold coin with what really was the penny. And the penny is a small amount. And then all the higher denominations of currency was worth so many pennies. I even did this in my own fantasy setting in my novel, Shadow of the Conqueror, where the base denomination was, I think I called it a gram. I haven't looked at the World Builder document in ages. If I get things wrong in my own fantasy setting in my novel, there we go. But I was pretty sure it was a gram. And then higher coins, like when you get to, say, a crown or there was a groat and other kind of currencies, was worth so many grams. That makes much more sense, because then you can carry effectively a lot more, I guess, wealth on you without the inconvenience of weight, all right? Now, if this gold coin represented, say, like $100, or depending on what you do, you would be carrying a wealth, like a whole lot. Where effectively, like if we're doing a translation of value here, 1,000 gold coins would be worth carrying $100,000 if we were just saying the buying power of this single gold coin was about $100, you know, buying in the comparison. That's a lot of money you're carrying around. And then in that sense, you could effectively get away with an adventurer carrying heaps of money. And just like in Skyrim, where, you know, when I go and buy something, I have like 10,000, even up to 100,000 gold sometimes. This is what it would look like. But the thing is, the problem with Skyrim and Dungeons & Dragons and other fantasies, usually the buying power of a single gold coin is about equivalent of a single dollar. And that's what these represent. $1, 1 coin, right here. And therefore, if you actually want to be able to purchase stuff of the higher volume and have the money on you, this is what you would be looking at. And so let's actually see, just with the pouches I have on me, if I can fit 1,000 gold coins in my current pouches. So I'm just going to try and pour the entire contents of this pouch into my belt pouch. That's actually only like half full. Good thing about big pouches, hey? So I wonder if you can pour that one in there.
You know what they say about big pouches? Big booty. Oh, I dropped a coin.
So that is chockers. And I would be I reckon it would be too easy for coins to fall out of that one. So we need to empty it a bit. And so Ben, if you let's start filling up this pouch here. So load me up.
I went booty in like a pirate way, by the way, just so you know. Sure you did.
Sure was. We need to pay attention to weight as well, because technically if this was real gold, this would weigh twice as much. I am feeling weighed down, like that's, you know, or adding like maybe 8 kilos of weight to me.
Do you honestly feel like, you know?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I'm wearing my foam brigandine, not the metal one. But if this was the metal one, I'd already have like, I forget how much, I think it was 9 kilos, the breastplate. And then on top extra weight. Whoa, whoa, whew. You can feel the weight. Like, I feel more weighed down than when I'm wearing my metal brigandine. That's a bit weird. So I think it might weigh more than the brigandine. Like, it could have been closer to 10 kilos just in the comparison, right? Like, but I have 1,000 gold on me right now. So like, this is what a wealthy adventurer looks like, but it's heavy. It's legitimately heavy, like, and uncomfortable. And the problem is, if this was real gold, it would be twice as much. So one of the other things that I want to discover with this test is what is the convenient amount of gold that would be easy to carry with you in gold coins and stuff. Because I think right now, this is too much. I already feel too weighed down, and it's only half the weight it should be. And so, Oz, if you could bring the bowl of rocks. Now, these rocks don't weigh as much as the coins, okay? But if this is just an approximate, I think these only probably weigh half as much as the coins actually in terms of weight. And so I would need double this again to double the weight of the coins. And if I just even added this weight onto me at the moment, it'd be way too uncomfortable. It's not going to happen. Oh my goodness, gosh. But in terms of the amounts of gold you could carry with you without having like a separate backpack, just normal, you know, gold pouches here and stuff. 1,000 is almost at the limit, I think. Because considering the weight is double, would be double what I'm currently wearing. 1,000 really is getting up there. And so if you're an adventurer and you discover a chest full of gold, okay, if you do not have a pack horse with you, you're not taking it with you. Yeah, like, imagine 2 adventurers trying to carry, like, even a group. There's a group of 5 adventurers, every single adventurer would need to grab like a corner of this chest if it was full of gold coins, right? Just to lift it. And then we go like all the way back out of the dungeon, right? This is why pack horses, very useful. But if you don't have a pack horse, I reckon 1,000 gold, like, wouldn't this be fun if you added it into your adventures, right? It's like, okay, comfortably, if you've got a bit of a hike going out of this dungeon, you know, the dungeon master telling the players, the adventurers this, how many pouches? That would be the first thing. Do you have any bags to carry? And if you have pouches and stuff like this, okay, you could probably only manage to carry 1,000 gold coins each. And the thing is though, I wouldn't want to go any heavier than what I'm currently wearing, right? I reckon I could manage a hike with this weight. It would be uncomfortable. It's uncomfortably heavy already. But because real gold weighs twice as much, it almost means like the cap of the gold you can carry is actually closer to 500. But adventurers are stronger and fitter. And so I think that would balance out. Then 1,000. I think 1,000 is about it. Anything more than 1,000 in large quantities, like 1,500, especially 2,000, is like severe, you know, fatigue penalties, over encumbrance, you know, hard to move. And you would have to rest, and it'll take a while to trudge out there and stuff. Because, yeah. All right, and so after walking around a bit with this on, yeah, already too heavy for my own convenience. And so I'd only take, you know, large amounts of gold with me if I had a specific purchase, and I need to store it somewhere safe, of course. And so the average amount of convenience that the adventurer will want to take with them, let's figure that out. And that's going to require emptying the gold again and counting out. I reckon maybe 1 full pouch could could be enough. So let me... So this is 100 gold right there. So that's one pile of 100. And let's get another pile of 100. So for the convenient level of gold an adventurer would be able to carry with them, there's two kind of levels that we can try and figure out. One is by volume and one is by weight. Now, volume is easy, however many that we put in, but then we need to try and account that technically this should weigh twice as much. Or we could put it in by weight, where we only put in, say, 100 coins, and then we double the weight with rocks. I think I'm more interested just to go by volume, and then we're going to have to rough ballpark and just say, all right, this would technically weigh twice as much. So we're making piles of 100 here. So I have 100 there. There's a one pile of another 100 there. And how are we up to on this one, Oz? 80. So we're almost done there. And we're going to see how much will fit in one of my pouches. And I think, you know, for an adventurer, he can have convenient stuff stored on his other pouches. But because gold is particularly heavy, one pouch, okay, full of gold, depending on how much, will be enough. Hang on. I have a pouch still full of gold coins. We didn't empty this one. We need to empty this, guys. 10, 20, yeah, all right, so 100, 100. Okay, so we'll load up this 100 into this. So Oz, if we can load up these 100 gold coins. Gold. So Australia's one of the last countries that still have kind of gold-looking dollar coins. Because in the US, they just dollar notes. They don't have dollar coins. Yeah, they still have a penny. You know, odd thing I heard about the penny?
What?
Is that the cost of the metal is worth more than the coin is supposed to represent. Which is ridiculous.
I know they used to use gold coins in South Africa.
Do they? So this is just 100. So what we can do, we could just double up the amount of coins. Well, we'll do both, because if there's 200 coins in it, we can say this is how much 100 gold coins would either weigh, or how much volume 200 coins would load up. And so there is still a decent amount of room in there. I reckon we could at least do another 100, if not another 200 in this one pouch. So Ben, if you could grab those and help load up my pouch. So this is now 200 exactly. So I reckon another 100 would make it overflow. And I like rounding it off. So no, leave those there for now, Oz, because also this is at a convenient weight. So this is 200 gold coins, and that's at the convenient size. That's like when I close this off, okay, just like so. When I bend around and move and stuff, it's not going to fall out. I think this is fairly secure and fairly convenient. So a couple of things that we can learn from just this, okay? One, this is how much 100 gold coins would actually weigh, even though there's 200. And that's fairly so. Oh, let's come and have a feel of the weight of just the pouch on its own. Touch my pouch. Right there.
Ooh,
Cup it.
That's a heavy pouch.
That's a bit of a heavy pouch, isn't it?
It's full.
And so that's what 100 gold coins would actually feel like. Really close. Even though we have 200 regular coins. And so this is either the volume of 200 regular coins or the weight of 100 gold coins. Okay? And this is kind of, I think, the convenience average that an adventurer would carry. Okay? And so 200 coins, double the weight of what's currently in here. I could manage that. It's not overly much. Let's see if we can weigh the pouch. Because then we can know exactly how much 200 gold coins in a pouch would weigh.
Gold coins right there.
Oh, fine. Well, yes. Good job, Oz. All right.
I'm smart, okay?
So let's load up 2 pouches with 100 gold each and weigh them. And then double the weight to know exactly how much 200 gold coins would weigh in a single pouch. I feel like Scrooge or Ebenezer, you know, Ebenezer, like as he counts his coins. And, you know, this would probably be what you would do. You know, we had the skit where I was counting out the coins. What you would actually do is have a set amount in each pouch that you would know. And, you know, the money changer would probably still want to count, honestly, because he wouldn't want to be cheated. So maybe they would always have to count. So what's that?
So
Nearly a kilo.
nearly a kilo. Wait, no.
900 grams.
900 grams times 10. That means it's 8 kilos exact. No, 9 kilos exactly. Almost.
Times 10.
No, because that's 100 gold coins there, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
9 kilos.
1,000 coins is nearly exactly 10. Like, so I know it's short. It's closer to like 9 kilos. But so if we just weigh both, okay. Yeah, 1.8 kilos. So we could round it off to 2. But okay, so 1.8 for 200. So 200 gold coins of this size would weigh an approximate of 3.6 kilos. That's still a hefty amount in one pouch, right? And I would say it's pretty on the limit. So I think we are finding what the comfortable standard is for gold coinage if you're going with this size. And so you'd be looking at 3.6 to 4 kilos of gold coins. Rounding it off is the average of around 200 gold coins. Now, what's really interesting about this, it depends on how much buying power your gold coin has in your fantasy setting. If a gold coin, like the actual Australian coin, which is not real gold, is only worth $1 and has the buying power of $1, well, I mean, you know, it could get you going, accommodation and food for a good couple of days, you know, if prices are reasonable. But if a gold coin was worth a lot more, kind of how they did in World of Warcraft, where a gold coin could be worth 100. How much is the denomination? Because, like, what's a silver versus a copper, and what's a gold versus a silver?
Gold is usually 100 silvers, and a copper is usually, the silver is 10 coppers, or 100 coppers.
So is a gold coin worth nearly 1,000 coppers in World of Warcraft?
Oh, World of Warcraft?
Yeah.
I thought you were just talking about fantasy in general.
Even fantasy, it depends on what the breakdown is, because usually people in fantasy, the generic breakdown is copper, silver, gold. I don't necessarily like that. I think you could get some more historical inspiration for your denomination breakdown, and I would suggest once again the Lindy Beige video, because it's a good baseline to work off of. But one of the easy ways is just to like get 4 types of coins and have kind of like a breakdown where one coin is the base currency of buying power, say $1. The next coin up could be the 5 or 10. Next coin up from that could be 50. Next coin up from that, 100, and it goes like that. And there are a couple of different generic fantasy names you could use for higher denomination currencies. Penny is one of the most authentic medieval kind of names, but you could use a mark or a crown or something like this. And so a gold coin could be a crown, a single crown, right? And this crown, if we're just pretending this is a real gold coin, could be worth buying power of $100. So if these, say, crowns are worth 100 whatevers, the base currency, dollar, whatever you use in your fantasy setting, right? And 200, that would be 20,000. And so let's pretend in this example, that is the exchange. With 200 gold coins, I effectively have the buying power of 20,000 whatevers. Pennies, marks, dollars, but 20,000. That's a lot of money I'm carrying with me. I would almost feel a bit uncomfortable carrying that much cash with me. But you would then break it down. Perhaps you would only have a couple of gold with you, and what you would really be carrying is a number of the lower currency ones, like pennies or whatever, like copper coins, silver coins. And so, like again, you know, 200 gold would be 20,000 coppers around there. And so, because this has only been dealing with the glorious gold coin that we see in fantasy all the time. And that's the odd thing. I think this is why people default to gold. Whenever you raid a dragon's hoard or find a chest, it's always in gold. Even if they do have lower currencies, did you ever find a chest full of copper coins? Like you find 4 chests full of copper coins. You're like, yeah! And it equates to just a couple of thousand gold. And you're like, oh. Well, I used that in my book as well. There's a part in my book where a character breaks into a pirate's lair, and the pirate has all these coins scattered about, and it's a misdirection because they're all the lower currency coins and is trying to get people to think that that's where his wealth are, where he actually has a smaller pile of the highest currency coins that are worth 10 to 100 times more than all the lower currency coins he has scattered out in his main diversion room. And so the main character, when he sees it, he actually discovers the true cash, which is actually the highest, currency denomination, whatever. And so, like, I've even used that in my own novel. And so it's fun to, play with the currency types, especially in the adventuring setting where you think, gold coins. It's like, oh no, it's just crappy coppers or silvers or whatever. But I think we've learned some really interesting stuff with this functional fandom episode, where we've figured out what the average convenience level of carrying gold specifically. And that's around 200 gold, which, averaging off to 3.6 or 4 kilos, depending on how, there's obviously room to move. But use it in your fantasy. Now you have a bit of a baseline to work off of, and I know that I certainly would like to as well. So thank you very much for joining us here on Shadowversity, and also thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, and until that time, farewell.